So, you want to know how to get goals if you don't have goals? Well, the answer is very simple. You can click out after this 10-second little answer, which is get them. I don't understand this question. This is one of the most pertinent questions that you get constantly in the world of self-help. There's all these people going, I understand goals are important, but I don't have any goals. Oh my God, I'm caught in the eternal snake eating itself. And you are. That's not a good situation to be in, particularly because, as Brian Tracy said it best, remember this quote. In fact, you should even just write this down to remind yourself of just how important goals are. He summed it up perfectly. This is it. If you do not have goals, you are destined to work for people who do. If you do not have goals, you are destined to work for people who do. This is backed up by Harvard studies. I think it was in the 50s or the 60s. It was a long time ago. Love all these experiments back then. God, scientists could get away with anything, couldn't they? We're just going to put a bunch of chimps into a giant wrestling cage and put little masks on them and make them fight with knives. What does that prove? I just want to see who wins. But anyway, they were studying Harvard graduates. And they discovered that 3% of the class had goals. The other 97% did not. What happened after 20 years? Those 3% were earning far more than the other 97%. Exactly. If you think from memory, they were earning more than the 97% combined. That 3%. On top of that, they reported being much more happy, much more spiritually fulfilled, having better kids, I suppose, because they probably have goals on what they wanted their kids to be like. Isn't that great about children, that you can just program them? You're just a little miniature Rupert Murdoch going, this is what I believe. But that is something that you need to consider, is that every year that slips by without you having goals is a year that is completely wasted, and that your brain will start shifting towards people who have a more certain reality than you, because that is what I think is most crucial about goals, and it is never, ever talked about, which is that, and this is a psychedelic concept, man. You ready to strap yourselves in? Are you ready for this dimension, dude? But I think that when people always say that you create your own reality, and then everyone goes, yeah, that's a secret, and it is a secret, fuck off, it's awesome, it's a good movie, give it a chance. They are always saying that that is not, the detractors, if you will, are always saying that that's not how life works. But I tend to argue the exact opposite, which is that whatever is inside your head is how you interpret reality. It's the same the reason as when anxious people go to a party and then they go, everyone hates me here, I'm such a loser. And because they're thinking that, they actually take on the body posture of a loser, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Have you ever heard of placebos? All of the self-help tropes in one video. What's the point of this channel? This is the video to watch. But when it says that you create your own reality, essentially what it's saying is that your brain focuses on what it thinks it is important to it. And you can decide that if you set goals. Otherwise, you are just going to be, I noticed in the middle of some great revelation. Now I can't remember it. God, I am as bad as Sandra Saliano. I'm just like, I don't care what's on the news today. The point is, does my hair look bouncy? Look, but they are saying that when you're in these situations where your brain has the opportunity to look at what is happening around the world, if you have set goals, your brain just goes, nah, and keeps going towards the goal. Because you have programmed into your mind what is important for you to complete. That is incredible about the human brain, that it gets to decide that. Dogs don't get to do that. Dogs are just completely at the mercy, and children, as we've mentioned before. But dogs are completely at the mercy of whatever their owner prioritizes. You can see them in sync with their owner's emotions and sitting there going, oh no, he's sad. I'm going to be sad too. Stupid dogs. But you don't. You get to determine what are your goals. And if you don't get to determine what those goals are, whatever is trending in society at the time is what you move along with. You know what also happens? This is what's really crazy. After a while of doing this, you start noticing that your friends and the social circle that you hang around with starts having these same, pretty much the same thoughts. They all start morphing into the same thought pattern. And what you notice is that you can sit there and observe it and just be like, I'm living in a You are not affected by it, but they are. They are just all pinging off one another, none of them having any idea of what's going on. And usually what happens is then there's just huge media conglomerates just going, you know what's cool at the moment? Sunglasses with those shitty shades over the top. Why? Because that shit band that wrote G6 Far East Movement. If you want to laugh, go watch G6 now and still think like, yeah, that's cool. Being a small Asian DJ with those crap sunnies on, I'm sure he gets pussy today. But it changes all the time. It changes all the time, and it's just people basically saying, buy this, now buy that. That's what happens to your brain if you don't fix goals. And you can sit there and go, but I'm autonomous. But you can see it even with all these videos that I'm currently doing on my other YouTube channel, Friendly Geordies, where I'm talking about media bias, and everybody can't see it and thinks that they get how media bias works, despite the fact that they've read nothing about it, and then they prove that media bias works by repeating exactly what the media has said about, say, the election in 2019, which I'm super bitter about. I'm not salty! But that's what happens. That is what happens. You start taking on, subconsciously, the goals of people who actually have them because their reality is more certain than yours. If you do not have goals, you are this leaf in the wind, as they say in Buddhism. But if you do have goals, you become a laser beam. How much better is a laser beam than a leaf? Yes, that's accurate. Metaphors are always correct. But I want you to think about that from that context, which is that you are wasting your life if you do not have goals. Fact. Period. And if you do have goals, you are unstoppable. It doesn't mean that you're going to reach your goals. Even if you put timelines, which I strongly recommend that you do. Even if you don't fulfill the timeline and get your goal in the allotted time period, you are closer towards it. Your brain is moving there. That is what makes a actualized, strong human being. If you don't have those things, if you do not have that, you are not going to be contributing to society at anywhere near the capacity that you are capable of contributing to it. Because if you don't, you just start fulfilling the destiny of other people. And the thing is, the people that are usually in the positions of power didn't get there by their own merits. They usually got there because they were born into this. And so they don't actually have very good goals for the rest of society. They're just basically like, make me more rich. That's their goal. But you see this all the time. You see people that started off with nothing, building something from where they started, which is, say, the working class or even lower than that, crackheads, building up something. Usually what they build up is a little more socially conscious, and it brings society along with them. That's what's exciting about goals, because goals are especially important if you do not have anything in your life as it stands. Because the thing is, you can get whatever you want. It doesn't mean that it happens overnight. It just means that you are training your brain to move towards it. Exciting. Otherwise, it just moves wherever it is directed to. It's still completing goals. This is what you don't understand. When you say you don't have goals, you might not have goals. Other people have goals for you. So, this is my goal. I want you to start writing your own goals. Be the captain of your own ship. How gross is that? Just be like, yay, goals. Jeez. This is a scary channel, isn't it? It's always just this combination of things that hot MILFs think is awesome and some guy that's pretty much 6 years old telling you about it. Ugh. But it doesn't matter. This is about me. You're worse than I am. You don't have goals. I want you to get them. I want you to get goals. I want you to write them down in these 5 areas. First off, I want you to write them down in terms of what your physical goals are. Do you want to have a stronger body? Do you want to be one of those jacked guys that when he turns around, he's like, I got a six-pack on my back. Is that hot, ladies? You want to be that? That's fine. Go do that. Physical goal. I also want you to have goals in terms of intellectual goals. How do you want to develop your mind? What subjects do you want to become a master in? Remember this. If you are studying a subject extensively for an hour a day, in 3 years, you will be an authority. In 5 years, you will be a national authority. In 7 years, you will be a global authority, because not many people put 7 years of effort into anything. Most people don't even put 2 weeks of effort into anything. Most people just go to university and go, this is hard. It's like high school, except no one's telling me to shut up. So they don't. Now, I want you to have intellectual goals. I want you to have physical goals. I also want you to have financial goals. Where do you want to go financially? How financially secure do you want to be? Do you want to have a mansion on the moon? I told you, you can get whatever you want with goals. In terms of finance, on top of that, it's sort of connected, but career goals. What do you want to do? What do you want to do with your life? How do you want to spend most of your time? Because essentially what you want to do, I'm just giving you this goal to begin with. First off, you want to make sure that your vocation is your vacation. You want to make it so that when you're going on a vacation, it actually feels like you're going to work. That's my life, baby. Day in the life of. I hate going on vacation these days. I really like working. I want you to have that same experience in life. That is a key to success. It is just a. I'm almost said perpetually again. That has become my version of saying like every 3 sentences, which I fall into every now and then as well. You're watching me asking for counseling from strangers, the YouTube channel. I want you to think about that from a career perspective as well. And then the 5th one I want is contribution goals, because you will not feel fulfilled unless you feel like you are adding to society as opposed to taking away from it. That is what makes you sleep well at night. I can guarantee you that. Anything else subtracts, because this is something that you also learn. Happiness is overrated. Sure, happiness is great. Love happiness. Fantastic. But what happens when you're not? What happens on those cold, cold nights when you don't have somebody to snuggle up next to? You can sit there snuggling up, just like how Nelson Mandela was in that cell, basically what I am in today. You know what? I am exactly the same as Nelson Mandela. In fact, I had a harder life than his already. But he was always saying, this is the way that he looked at his 40 years in prison. And Tony Robbins was asking him this, actually, where he goes, how did you survive all of those years? And then he said, I didn't survive. I prepared. He sat in the cell and he read. He spent all of his time strengthening his mind to prepare to become a leader for when he was eventually freed. What a powerful mindset. Why? Because he was focused on contributing back to society. So even being in essentially solitary confinement or extremely poor prison conditions, in his mind he was free. Just like Charles Manson, the other Nelson Mandela of our times. Now, this is what I'm trying to impress upon you today, is that goals are important, and you can have goals. They don't have to be spectacular. They just have to be anything. What you want to be doing is training your mind to decide that it is the key determining factor in your life. It gets to call the shots. It gets to call where it's going to go. You need to start exercising that muscle. If you just keep sitting there going, I don't have goals, again, that is a goal. Think about it like that. Whoa! Mind meld, man. If you are saying, I don't have a goal, your brain starts to seek out reasons for why it doesn't have a goal. What a waste of human intelligence. What you should be focusing it on instead is, what goals do I actually want? And you definitely would have some goals in these 5 areas. No one is fulfilled in these 5 areas, and then you can add other ones like relationships and children and all that kind of crap. Let's focus on you, the big dog. In these 5 areas, there is definitely things that you want to improve, but you are not improving upon them. Start writing goals. These will propel you forward. Anyone who has goals is going to be better off at the end of their life than someone who doesn't. It is proven. Start doing it. It does it again. Anything in these 5 areas: finance, body, career, contribution, intellectual pursuits, any of those 5, write down the goal and start writing it daily to impress upon your mind that all of these other outside distractions of, dude, have you seen this YouTube video? How ironic that this is a YouTube video. But all of that crap of people constantly coming into your life and going, oh, you want to go to this shitty party where nothing happens? You sit on a milk crate, but you roll darts. How awesome's that? Instead of that, you go, no, I'm going to sit at home and read Moby Dick. But eventually what happens is that builds on itself, and 10 years down the line, you will thank me for it. I can guarantee you will thank me for it, because you will see those people that are still aimless in life, still walking around like a lost soul. You will not. You will be a laser beam. Don't be a leaf, be a laser beam. See you next week. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, write a comment on what you want written about next time. It's a very strange way of saying, please write me more questions. Thank you.